and I'm going to give the woman a seed. And when she produces that seed, it's going to crush the head of the serpent. So never sleep on a woman who has a casket and a curse because she also has a seed attached to her name.
If I see one more black female, I'm not going to do shit at my expense.
We're black women.
No, folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. Hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. To respect our women and to protect our women.
Like black women, we so tough all the time. God is real and God lives.
It's out of all of us.
Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Have you guys heard about the boy or the man that got unalived? Okay, he was unalived by his preference, child. This is absolutely insane and heartbreaking. This young fella was unalived by his preference. I'm telling you, it's just absolutely crazy what's going on in these streets. Okay, first of all, his name is Telvin Osborne. He was unalived by his preference. He is in the master bedroom with a single gunshot wound to the chest. This Telvin guy was he was immediately transported to a local hospital, but despite medical efforts, he was pronounced dead. This is just absolutely crazy. Okay, now the victim's girlfriend was actually arrested. Authorities quickly identified Hannah Cobb, that's his preference, the girlfriend, and the mother of their child, as the primary suspect in the case. She was arrested and charged with, involuntary manslaughter. So it's intense. It's intense. Now, Burke County authorities are investigating, the tragic shooting that left that man dead early Sunday morning. Now, the suspect is actually 28 years old. And like I stated earlier, her name is Hannah Cobb. She has been arrested and charged with involuntary, manslaughter following the incident, which occurred at, a resident in Georgia. So this all occurred in Georgia. This is just insane. The Burke County Sheriff Office received reports of a shooting around, let's say, 5:45 a.m. on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. Deputies responded to a home on the 800 block of 4 Points Road, where they discovered 30-year-old Telvin Osborne in the master's bedroom, like I stated earlier, with a single gunshot wound to the chest. Osborne was immediately transported to a local hospital, but despite medical efforts, he just, did not make it. Now, everybody on social media is completely outraged by this incident, especially since the young lady was white, and the gentleman was a black man, so this is just like, what is going on? At first she actually was not charged with any crimes. Nothing had occurred, and that's what completely piqued the outrage, because people was wondering, like, how is this black man dead, and his girlfriend, who seemingly did these crimes, still not arrested in any way, or her home or the incident to where all of this occurred even made a just a place to where detectives would come and take just complete look at the entire situation. The home, the gunshot, all of these things would be taken into account. It would be a crime scene, but the police did not do anything, for a short time, because they just felt as though the girlfriend, Hannah, actually was not guilty. They felt as though she was innocent. Now, according to lead investigators, statements to Fox 54, Cobb admitted that she and Osborne, had been drinking heavily that night before getting into an argument. Cobb claimed, Hannah Cobb claimed that when they returned home, she was checking her firearm, something she said she did, they did together, actually, not like they did that nightly, when the gun accidentally discharged, striking Osborne in the chest. So they were arguing prior to, and then she, did the routine, checking out the gun, and she shot him. She's saying that that was an accident. Now, the suspect, who has now, been passed away, was pronounced dead at the hospital. Deputies actually made contact with the complaint, Hannah Cobb, who is, cooperating with the investigation. According to the sheriff's office, they're saying that she is actually, at this point, speaking and connecting and communicating with, cops, and giving them, any information that they would need. Authorities say that out of respect for the victim's family, the entire situation, the details of this, incident, is being withheld until the family has been properly notified. They are not releasing any of that to the public. And actually, it took outrage from, the public for Hannah to even be arrested. So according to Burke County Sheriff Office, that Hannah actually was arrested and charged with involuntary manslaughter. Now, the lead investigator tells Fox 5, that Cobb was the victim's girlfriend. The sheriff office tells Fox 5 that both the victim and Cobb were under the influence of alcohol the night of the shooting, and the entire gun incident, that led to the fight and the arguing and all of that. They were under the influence. So chances are, this young lady may not remember a lot of the details or may not remember what occurred. That's what a lot of people are saying, but who knows, Hannah actually stated to the police that they had been out all night. When they arrived home, she was actually checking her firearm, as they do every night, and the firearm went off, striking her boyfriend in the chest. And at this time, deputies have not classified the shooting as an incident, so they're still figuring out all the information, but they did not classify this shooting as an incident. Now, one of the victim's relatives, Mark Stevenson, took to Twitter to express his frustration, alleging that Cobb's father is a law enforcement officer. So the person, Hannah, her father is actually a law enforcement officer. So everybody's upset about this point, which he fears may impact the cases, the transparency of the case and all the information. They're saying that the fact that her father is an officer, she's being protected. He said that my cousin's girlfriend, Hannah Cobb, killed him Sunday morning and is claiming that she got drunk at the club and came home to clean her gun at 5 a.m. I already stated this with you all earlier, and it accidentally went off. The gun accidentally went off. He says that her dad is a cop and currently she has not been charged. The Burke County Sheriff Office already been warned that it's about to get very real down there. My family is too deep in the area for this to be taken lightly, and they say rest in heaven, Telvin, the victim. We got a great justice team that's standing behind us. They say that we are gonna get justice one way or another. They're saying that they're not gonna let up on this. This is a very important situation for them and their family, and they're going to fight tooth and nail to see justice be upheld. Now, his statements reflect the growing concern within the community regarding the case and just everything and how it's being handled. Authorities have actually emphasized that they are handling the case thoroughly and carefully, ensuring that all facts, be properly investigated. However, law enforcement officials have not yet confirmed whether the shooting truly was accidental. The investigation remains open as authorities work to gather additional evidence and statements. Hannah Cobb and Osborne shared a child, but according to, Berks County Sheriff Office, no child or children were inside the house at the time of the shooting. Authorities have not disclosed who currently has custody of the child following, Cobb's arrest, the Hannah Cobb's arrest. So the child, no one at this point knows where that child is. You know, a lot of people are stating that the child is with her family, but nobody has actually confirmed it publicly. You know, the shooting has garnered significant attention, particularly from Osborne's family and his loved ones. So this has been big on social media.
White woman arrested finally for fatally shooting her black boyfriend. I'm taking you to the state of Georgia. Put up the picture full mass. This is a hell of a story. Authorities in Georgia have arrested Hannah Cobb, the girlfriend of 30-year-old Telvin Rackens Osborne, who they say shot him to death in the bedroom they shared early Sunday morning. Sheriff Alfonso Williams said Tuesday that Cobb, 25, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Okay? Cobb is being held at Burke County Jail, said the sheriff, who stressed that the shooting was not an accident. Now, I want you to remember involuntary manslaughter, all right? So the shooting occurred after, quote, both parties had been drinking, end quote, said Sheriff Williams, confirming the couple fought before the fatal bullet was shot. Cobb and Osborne lived together and had 2 children. Quote, the offenses committed leading up to the discharge of the firearm included simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. Sheriff said during a news conference on Tuesday, it is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm in an argument. It is reckless to engage in an argument where there's pushing and shoving going on. Let me contextualize simple battery. Let me contextualize it. Simple battery is unwanted physical contact. Typically, simple battery does not mean assault. It's unwanted physical contact. It could be a shoulder bump. It could be as simple as a move your hand off of me. Things like that. That is simple battery. So I want to provide a contextualization that the sheriff is providing. Sheriff Williams said investigators worked the last 2 days interviewing friends, family members, and other witnesses before they, quote, were able to secure warrants and make an arrest in this case. Osborne worked at the Savannah River nuclear plant, investigators said, little until today. But Osborne's younger brother, Roderick Williams, pointed the finger at Cobb early on, alleging she shot his sibling while suggesting police were covering up for her because she is white. The sheriff's office said Cobb cooperated with the investigation. She notified authorities that Osborne had been shot. Online, speculation ran wild following a post from the brother who shared his thoughts on Facebook in a lengthy post about the investigation that had generated 744 shares at the time and 250 comments as of Monday evening. Quote, so Hannah Grace Cobb kills my brother, Telvin Rackens, after leaving a club partying, Roderick Williams alleged. Quote, she claims she went home and cleaned a damn gun and shot him in the head, he said. Anybody out there knows something doesn't sound right about that? Sheriff Williams has confirmed that Cobb was not cleaning her gun when the incident occurred. I understand frustration of the brother because this woman wasn't initially charged. She was able to proclaim this affirmative defense saying it was an accident until, as the sheriff said, they had to then talk with witnesses and talk with family members and secure an arrest warrant. Wait a minute. You have a dead person. You have a live shooter. What question do you need to incarcerate them? Now, the victim's brother goes on to ask why Cobb didn't put her gun on safety while cleaning it. Quote, it could have shot anybody, Roger Williams said. Who parties, gets drunk, and goes home in the middle of the night and cleans a gun? I mean, he's talking like a detective. The victim's brother asked why the sheriff's department had withheld this information from the news media. Quote, sorry, but I don't buy it. And she needs to be locked up. It's negligent to even consider cleaning a gun. If that's what happened, what if a child was there? You're cleaning a gun. You had to pull the trigger on the gun. So WTF was your finger around the trigger. This is ridiculous. Once again, the young brother is providing the same level of investigative prowess we would expect from the law enforcement agency. So you're drunk, but you went home to clean a gun. You're intoxicated, but you're cleaning a gun. Is your gun always not on safety? Why was your finger around the trigger of the pistol? And then you're dealing with trajectory, aim, everything else. So Roderick Williams alleges a racist cover-up in subsequent post, writing, quote, Georgia headlines make sure to broadcast everything blacks do. But a white woman kills my brother, and I haven't seen anything online at all other than our grieving family shaking my head. By February 24th, Roderick Williams wrote that his sources have told him the house his brother shared with Ms. Cobb, has never been set up as a crime scene. And if so, it wasn't one right after my brother was found dead there, meaning they did not secure it. So why didn't law enforcement feel the need to do so? He asked. Why didn't they contact the media immediately? They knew they needed to cover up for her actions. He also posted a video allegedly of Cobb dancing at a club just hours before his brother's shooting. Osborne's case bears an eerily similar resemblance to that of Christian Toby Abumseli, who was fatally stabbed inside of a luxury apartment building. Remember this? In Miami's Edgewater neighborhood. This was April 3rd, 2022, by his white girlfriend, Courtney Clenny, an OnlyFans model and an Instagram influencer, who was ultimately charged for his murder after her own friends told the police she did it. Clenny had claimed she stabbed her boyfriend in self-defense, and for months, she and her attorney claimed, oh, he was abusive. Yeah, that's what happened. However, video footage circling online and statements made by mutual friends suggested that Clenny was the violent one towards her boyfriend. Wow, this is fascinating. And my goodness, the consistency and the love from the brother in this case, I believe, made all the difference in the world. The questions he posed, the people who looked at the post, the individuals who decided to share it, and the media who initially was complicit in the conspiracy, willfully or not, they were complicit because they didn't ask those questions. And why was it not, why was the crime scene not protected? Oh, because they did not see it as a crime scene. That's why.
Now, I'm not an owner of a firearm, so I don't know the steps that should be taken when holding a gun, but I like that this, previous broadcaster has spoken about why wasn't the safety on, why was the safety not placed on? If you are a person that does this, because she said that she cleans her gun every night. So if this is true and you do that, why is the safety not on? Do you just not put the safety on every night? And if so, why not? If you are a person that owns guns or owns weapons, you should know the safety precautions that take or should be taken when you own a weapon, So for her to not put the safety on or be negligent with the gun is very, very telling. I also would like to state and point out how Sheriff Alonzo Williams reported that the shooting followed a night of drinking in a heated argument between Osborne and Cobb. While details of their altercation remain under investigation, social media users have focused on, just different aspect of the case. Now, past social media statements have been brought to the forefront that the victim have stated previously. This has sparked a war in a back and forth on social media within the Black community. He made statements saying that I'll F a dog before I F a black bee. It's gonna be a white dog though. It's gotta be a white dog though. So he's stated and made different, statements about Black women and stating that his preference is actually, Caucasian women, white women, and that is his preference. And I guess the insane part was these statements was voluntary, like no one asked him a question. Nobody, wanted to know what his preference was. Nobody probed him to get a response out of him. He just made these statements just very blindly on social media. These statements, along with other remarks praising white women while talking bad about Black women, has fueled, just different conversation on social media. Some social media users, expressed sadness over his tragic fate, while others pointed out what they saw as a irony of his demise, at the hands of, his very, the women that he very much loved and praised, while speaking bad about Black women. Now, here is the tweet that he said, I'll F a dog before I F a black bee. It gotta be a white dog though. So, a lot of people are bringing this up and they're saying, okay, well, he, kind of like the entire situation is tragic, but his preference actually unalived him. So people are saying, well, this was his preference, and this was what he wanted as far as a relationship goes. Those are the type that he was interested or attracted to. A lot of people of color are saying that, you know, this was his preference. Something else that was stated on social media that he posted, he said, "I love them white girls. They already know." Tobo in between, Tobo in between. And he said, "Team white girls, hashtag team white girls, hashtag team snow bunnies." And he said that, "I told my B to go get yo B." He said in another tweet, white girls, team white girls. And he said, "White girls are greater than black girls." You know, in previous posts, and as you can see, this is all unwarranted, not a question being asked, nothing. You know, he's just stating his personal preference. Now, when the news came out and a lot of people were upset, this is what a family member of his had to say. He said, "This is why I've been staying off here. Y'all sorry, some bees got so much to say. Dang right, my brother ain't want no but begging ass black bee, just like y'all hoe." You see it up on the screen. "Barely want the pro broke ass, oh child, broke ass N-word you laying next to." So, you know, his family members are pissed with black women, and upset with black women, and saying, you know, saying different things like, hey, you know, his brother did not want a black woman. So a lot of black women are saying that, you know, this is not our fight then. You know, your brother wanted a white woman, and the white woman was the woman that, you know, ended up ending his life, allegedly. So, you know, a lot of black women are saying that, hey, black women, drink your tea, and, you know, sip your well, not ice cream, child, sip whatever drink or beverage you have, and mind your business, because at this point, this is not a black woman fight. You know, the black men, if you guys stand beside him and would like to, you know, advocate for him, you're definitely free to do so. However, black women are taking a step down and minding our business, because this one did not have any connection or ties to us, or showed any interest in us, or protected us. So a lot of, you know, black women are saying that, yeah, we're just going to sit this one out and mind our business, because we will not be disrespected in life and in death. You know, if you all feel as though that black women, you know, aren't nothing to be loved or appreciated or cared for, we're going to mind our business when it comes down to, you know, these death situations. Black women will not be rallying. Black women will not be standing up. It's like the election all over again. A lot of black women are choosing to protect, you know, our peace, and just not, you know, connect or speak up in the conversation, because it's unfair, you know, that certain things that have happened are happening to us, and not being cared for. You know, we don't value black women. We don't care about black women. Black women is not the choice. This is the rhetoric that's being spoken to. So if that is the case, and that's how you all feel, black women are just going to mind their business when things like this occur. You know, just respectfully what is being stated, of course. Now, people are bringing up this tweet or this post that was made by Telvin, you know, the alleged victim that passed on. People are bringing up this where he said, "I'll kill for her. I'll kill about her. I ain't scared to say I'll die about her." And that's the young lady that, you know, unalived him. And people are saying, well, he did say that. He, you know, pronounced that over his life, and stated these different statements, you know, in connection to this young lady.
Charged with involuntary manslaughter. It happened Sunday on 4 Points Road in Waynesboro. Investigators say Hannah Cobb had some sort of altercation with Telvin Osborne when a gun went off, and Osborne got shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The sheriff, Alfonso Williams, says they're still getting search warrants, but he says this shooting was not accidental, and Cobb could face more charges.
The offenses committed leading up to the discharge of the firearm included simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into an argument. It is reckless to engage in an argument where there's pushing and shoving going on. And those are the predicate charges for the charge of involuntary manslaughter.
Hannah Cobb there remains in the Burke County Jail.
Now, here are some recent statements by his cousin. His cousin said, and y'all see why his preference was a white woman. Y'all black women put down the black man. Shit, he says. He said, I wouldn't want y'all black bees either. The F, oh, little hair, little brain having ass. The H word, child. So this is what the cousin had to say. So yeah, a lot of black women are actually opting out of the conversation. Black women are saying, hey, this is not our fight or our conversation to be had. We are just going to respectfully take a step back and mind our business and just not, be in the conversation because, this incident was not in connection to a black woman. If anything, this man has stated, unwarranted or just not simply asked, stated multiple times that, he did not care for nor love nor had any connection or compassion or wants for black women. So black women are saying, we're going to take a step back. This was not involving us. This man had no interest in us. He specifically said, team white girls, team snow bunnies. So that was his preference. So his preference actually took his life just in a very horrible manner. So all I can say, this is heartbreaking. I'm sad that this happened to this family. And it's a tragedy. It definitely is a tragedy. This is heartbreaking. And just because he had that preference does not mean that, his preference should have done what she ended up doing. No one should be above the law, even though we have known that history has proven that certain individuals of a different skin tone have been above the law in certain cases. But I don't know, my heart goes out for this family. I say rest in peace. I'll say, I just wish that this situation get justice, but once again, I'm just a black girl. So, I don't know if my voice is important enough or if my voice is even taken into account in this incident, in this situation, if they would value my voice or care for what I have to say about this man and his well-being. But I hope they do, and I hope that he is well taken care of as far as his funeral arrangements and just him just getting the farewell that he deserves, and the family getting the justice that they deserve. But that's all I'm going to say about this. I love you guys so much. Let me know what you think about this entire situation. I love you. Bye-bye.